applicant to stay in Australia for 5 years, live, work, study in designated regional area for Australia, travel to and from Australia as many times as you want while the visa is valid. So basically, this visa is, as I say, is a provisional visa. That means this visa, after the finishing, you can apply for the permanent visa on the expiring of this one. But to apply for the permanent visa, you need to meet the certain criteria. So that's the secondary stage. The another visa we can talk about the eligibility criteria. But today we just gonna focus about the 491 visa. So basic eligibility for this visa is be nominated to apply by state or territory government agency or an eligible relative must sponsored. That means that this visa basically has to be have a has to be nominated either by a relative, if you are eligible relative, or is by the state, and have an occupation on a relevant skilled occupation list. Each and every state has their and the region has their list. That occupation must be from one of those skilled occupation which are listed in those area, in the region of that particular we are applying for 91. Then have a suitable skill assessment for the occupation. So applying for the visa, you definitely need to be a positive skill assessment. Be invited to apply, certify the points. So they should have the minimum score 65 points or more to apply for this visa. Meet the skill assessment skill requirement. Your occupation must be on the combined list of eligible skilled occupation list, or for a skilled regional supply 491 visa list. So either of them, this should be there, that occupation. Meet health requirement and meet the character requirement, have paid back your debt to the Australian government. If you have any uh, the Australian government debt, which are like a credit card or any other fine you haven't paid, so those fine, before you can get this visa, you need to clear those things, and you need to sign the sign the Australian value statement that you're gonna respect the Australian value when you are going to be stay in Australia. That not have had visa cancelled or previous application be refused. You might not be eligible for the visa if you have had a visa cancelled or refused while you are in stay. Check if visa cancel affects your eligibility. So you can check, you can discuss with us if that's the scenario with you. So you can ask us, we can check the how what's the way for the you can apply for this visa. As we talk about that, it has to be you should receive an invitation before you could apply. So be invited to apply. You can only apply for the if we are if we invite you to submit an expression of interest, skill select. Let us know you would like to apply for this visa. So you have to select in a when you're applying for the EOI, you have to select the state. Yes, you are applying for this visa. You are selecting the regional 491 visa. So you have to indicate. You need to indicate that when you're applying for this, whether you are going to looking for the state nomination or you have an eligible relative while you're applying for the EOI. Be nominated or sponsor. It has to be one thing. Either you should be nominated by a state or you have an eligible relative who is living in the designated in Australia for a reasonable period of time. So if either of the criteria if you meet, you can apply for this visa. Nomination by an Australian state or territory government agency. As I said that it has to be nominated by this visa. So each and every state their own nomination process, and that nomination process is different state to state. So for example, today we are going to discuss about the criteria for the New South Wales, that what are the criteria for the nomination is for the New South Wales. If you are nominated for this visa, will then you will be invited automatically. Once you apply for the 491 visa and you are meeting all these requirements, the criteria provided evidence, you're gonna get the automatically EOI invitation to apply for the nomination. Once you're applying for the nomination, then you're gonna be a skill select will send you the invitation to apply for this visa. So it has to be based on the invitation. And as we said that you have to be considered applying for this, you must be having the 65 points or more. So that will what it include in your 65 points, your towards study in Australia, your skill occupation, your bachelor, master, or the PhD, what's the education you have. So if you have a bachelor, master, you can claim 15 points. If you have a PhD, you can get another extra points. So your English proficiency required, whether you are proficient English or you are a superior English. So based on that point, if you have a uh, accredited language, NATI or any other test you have given, those points could be counted. If you have experience in if you have the Australian work experience, that can also give you some points. And if you have a work experience from Australia, that can also count to some points. So altogether, when you are calculating your points, is that must be 65 points to apply for this visa. There might be some condition can be put it on your visa once you grant it, that 8515 must not marry or enter a de facto relationship before entry. 857 notify us of your passport or contact details are changed. 857 leave and study work in designated regional area only, that you cannot go and live in other area, or you cannot do the work or study outside that region. 8580 provide evidence of your live, study, or work address if requested. 8581 you must attend an interview if he asks you to in our letter. So there might be that sometime they can ask for the telephonic interview or the face to face. It's depend, but that's very rare chances for the interview. If you have the sufficient documentation, if you're providing, so interview chances are will be minimum. What is RDA Regional Development Australia? Basically, RDA committee in NSW are funded by the Australian government and administered by the Australian government's Department of Infrastructure, Transport, Regional Development, Communication. There are 14 RDA committee in NSW covering area of the state, include RDA committee for Sydney, which cover the Greater Sydney metropolitans. So I'll just let you know that uh, there are different RDA committee. That's we have the regional development, Australian South, Central Coast, Central West, Far West Coast, Far West. That's including Jarvis Bay territory, Far West, Hunter, Illawarra, Mid North Coast, Murray, another island, inland, Northern Rivers, Orana, Riverina, Southern Island. So these are the 14 RD development committee, and these are the regional area that will be considered the regional. There are postcode as well. So if you have there are postcode which you need to be check the carefully when you are living to the regional area, where that postcode is covered in the regional or not regional area, designated area. Nomination criteria, there are basically three stream. The on 20th of on in November 2020, the RDA has announced there are previously criteria completely has abolished, has been changed. It's only used to be that if you are living in the regional area, then you can apply for the 491 visa for job. But now the criteria has been completely changed. It's been very detailed criteria, and they have so many other factors has been considered, which covers that overall pros and cons for the visa. So first thing what they are looking, that living and working in regional NSW. If someone apply for this visa, he must be living and working in regional New South Wales. And secondly, recently completed study in regional SW. If you study, there are a number of university located in a regional area, like you have a University of New England, you have a Southern Cross University, you have a Chartered University, you have Newcastle University, Wollongong University. So these are the area, if you studying in those university, studying 2 years over there, that's also meeting a requirement for applying for the 491 visa. And the third criteria is basically for the people, those are not living in New South Wales, but either they are offshore or the outside of the New South Wales. So living and working outside regional NHW, onshore or offshore. So they have a three criteria. On basis of that, they're going to say the first criteria, living and working regional NHW. How we can prove that one? Valid skill assessment. When we are applying, we definitely need a valid skill assessment. We should be meet the minimum requirement for the English proficiency, work experience requirement. So the basic criteria which is applicable meet, but on top of it, that to meet the 491 criteria, designated area for the at least 12 and working in nominated occupation for at least 12 months. So this criteria has completely focused say that when you are leaving the Dennis area for a skilled occupation which or occupation you're going to nominate. So you should, if you are working and living there for 12 months and you are the occupation is and your work experience is related to the nomination, yes, you can apply for the 491 visa. That is the first criteria. Second, recently completed regional NSW study. So if you 2 years, as I've mentioned it previously, in a designated region, I gave you this some example of the university like University of New England in Armadale, and you have a Charleston University. They have a campus in Bathurst and the Port Macquarie. If you study any of those campus, you can apply for the 491 visa. And for the purpose of the 49, the extra work study rights, the you have a Hunter Valley, and you have Southern Cross University Lismore campus. So these are the university. If you are studying over there, and that's called regional area, so you can get the as soon as you finish a study and you have the skill assessment meeting the minimum point requirement for 65, you can apply for the 491 visa. And the recently completed study that we talked, the you should have assessment and previous 24 months in this year. I think we have covered this one. Living and working outside for the regional NSW or the onshore offshore. So these basically criteria, that onshore applicant with job offer in regional NSW, onshore offshore applicant with at least 5 years skill employment. Onshore applicant with a job offer in regional and they can apply. If they are the outside New South Wales and they have the job offer, yes, they can apply for this visa. Onshore family sponsor applicant, if they have a family, they have by the in Australia, they have a relative living regional in New South Wales, they can apply for this visa. And third, especially for the offshore applicant with at least 5 year experience. So what they are looking, if the pupil are meeting a 65 points requirement and they have the experience requirement meeting, they have patient for 5 years in their home country or in the world, so they can be eligible for apply for the 491 visa. They can be considered for this visa. Then leaving a work Australia, so we have a 3 points. So onshore as we talk about the valid skill assessment in nominated regions occupation list, ongoing employment offer for 12 months plus 35 hours per week. So if they that they have an ongoing for 12 months and they can be paid 35 hours per week. Normally for the work experience required, you just need a 20 hours. But to here to have the job offer for 12 months for 35 hours, so you can eligible to apply for this visa. Also show that commitment in ongoing employment offer DSR and plus registered in Australia. So it has to be in the Australia itself. The second point, onshore family sponsor valid skill assessment need for everyone. Immediate family member, a PR citizen, 489 visa holder can also can sponsor. If the family member considerably living there for 2 years, 20 days in regional area, and the family member considerably living there for 2 years, 20 days in regional area, they can also apply for they can sponsor it. Who could be sponsored? Grandparents, father, mother, brother, sister, step, adoptive siblings. So anyone can be from this category can sponsor. And the third one was the onshore applicant with at least 5 years skill employment experience. So if you have a valid skill assessment from the occupation list, and plus you have a 5 year skill employment in a nominated occupation, sometimes that is better to be get your experience to be assessed by the relevant assessing authority. if they are assessing that experience is relevant to your occupation, it's easier for convincing the RDA that that experience is in a skilled level, so that can without any hassle it can be applied for this category. So these are the basically three categories: uh, living and working regional NSW, recently study in regional NSW, living and working outside regional. So these, any of the criteria, if you are meeting and you have a minimum 65 points, yes, you are eligible to apply for 491 visa. And after getting this visa for 5 years, you have to show commitment to working there for at least for 3 years in the designated living there, meet the requirement, then you can apply for the permanent visa. So it's a very important part that even the people are struggling hard to getting the sitting on the 90 point, they're not getting any invitation for 190 to 189. But if you can fall to this one, that is a provisional visa, but it's give you the, if you meet the requirement, it's give you the possibility for getting the permanent visa. So I will we do encourage that if you fall into in any of this category that you have, definitely you can apply for the skilled work regional visa, provisional visa, and you can start your journey in Australia. So I would that's was the part from us for the presentation. If you have any query or anything now, we'll be more than happy to take any questions. We'll be more than happy to take any questions, or if you have if you want your personal case or anything, definitely we can assist your queries. So we are open for questions now. We are open for questions now, and if you have any question, please come forward. Faiz and Sandeep, please also check on our Facebook. Is there any comment?
In Q&A section, sir.
Sorry.
Q&A section.
Processing time for this visa is based. Look, once you have the invitation, everything is ready, so it can be clear within 2 to 3 months maximum. That could be processing time. But once we have the invitation, but if everything is intake, the whole there is a no timeline from that one, but altogether whole process from the experience we can say about can three from 3 to 6 months the visa can be granted. So do you have any other questions we have? Prabhat, do you wanna comment anything which I could have missed in our presentation, so you can share your view?
There are some questions, sir, in Q&A section.
Yes, they are regional for the study purpose. Yeah, Riyasad, I will share the slide with you. I will share the slide with everyone so you can have that one. If they're completely from Newcastle campus still, yes, they can be eligible. I'm just sharing the in a chat box the postcode which considered to be the designated area postcode. So you can note down this one. It may I think why we're not getting questions, so we can stop the live view. Sandeep, you can stop the live view.
Sir, host can. आप ही कर सकते हैं.
मैंने कहा था को होस्ट बनाने के लिए आपने मुझे होस्ट बना के रखा है. So within office, if anyone has any question, they can ask. So look, this is the skill migration thing.